What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today. And in this video we are Des Moines International Airport for the 55th airport update for the month of June 2025. We've got a nice variety of aircraft, and we'll also take a look at a new construction update since I haven't done one of them in a while. There's been any decent photos I've been able to find of the construction as of late, but I was able to come across one, so we'll analyze that a little later into the video. But first we'll go ahead and take a look at some Allegiant aircraft to start off with the aircraft present in this update. We'll start off with this A319 coming in from Las Vegas, their main hub, arriving in as Flight 19 at 12:19 p.m. and will be scheduled at 12:34 p.m. arrival. And then we've got the same registration, Allegiant A320, appearing in this month's update. So last month I had this registration November 252 November Victor, which itself is the second Gemini release for the Allegiant 320. Don't know why they didn't do a fence tip one, but that's a whole nother story. But this aircraft arrived in from Boston, and this is another one of the new services that started up late last month, so just over a month ago now, or just around a month ago rather, that both Boston and Jacksonville started, so nice to get both those services in here. This arrived in as Flight 433 at 12:40 p.m., had to be scheduled 12:46 p.m. arrival. Great to add that connection to the East Coast. Boston's a great market for sure, and I'd love to go back to Boston Logan because I had fun spotting there, even if it was very limited in the spotting time that I got, so we'll definitely have to return there to get a more formal spotting session in at some point in the future. But now we move on to our Southwest section. We've got a 737-700 with the blended winglets today, and this aircraft arrived in from St. Louis as Flight 2875. Looking at quite the delay for this flight, unfortunately. This arrived in 69 minutes late, unfortunately, at 12:59 a.m. on the night of a Saturday. So that would have been on Saturday, the 14th of June. So the rest of the flights are from Friday, June 13th. Then we've got our Frontier section, an A320neo. Love this thing. A320neo coming in from Denver as Flight 1678. This arrived in at 7:29 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 7:53 p.m. arrival. I'll do one tripod takeout here, or whatever you want to call it. Just take you guys off the tripod is a better way to phrase that. And I'll do one for the other side as well, just to get that over with. But we have a United 737-700 up here at 8:02, and this arrived in from Houston. Or no, Chicago O'Hare, I actually have this listed as. I thought I had this as the Houston flight, my apologies. But this is the Chicago flight, arriving in as Flight 1830 at 3:06 p.m., delayed from a 2:42 p.m. scheduled arrival, looking at a delay of 24 minutes. And then for the other aircraft that's on the other side of the terminal, where much of the construction's going on, right in that area roughly, we do have an American Eagle Embraer 175. Now you'll know that this does show up as a diversion on my graphics, but I believe this is an intended repo flight from Columbus, Ohio as Flight 9867, but Flight Radar showed it as scheduled to Chicago, so not sure what happened there, if it was inputted in as a flight between Columbus and Chicago, and instead they went to Des Moines, or something else. I don't know what happened there, but figured I'd put that into the update since that was pretty interesting to feature anyway. Sorry about that, everybody. Had a bit of an interruption, which I will show at the end of the video just for fun. This American 737-800 is parked at Gate Charlie 1 today. This is typically an Allegiant or Delta gate, depending on the availability of it, but obviously since we're down a couple of gates due to the construction, we do have some swaps going on. So this 738 arrived in from Phoenix Sky Harbor as Flight 568, right on time at 11:59 p.m., the last flight of the night. Well, it would have been the last flight of the night if it weren't for the folks at Southwest there, with that flight delayed just over an hour from St. Louis. But I suspect weather probably played a role in that, if anything, since we got some storms in the area right now. Nothing has hit us, though, so we're staying dry. We have the Delta 717 next to that at Gate Charlie 3, always a staple for the Des Moines Airport updates. From Atlanta, this is Flight 2155, so we have a bit of a different flight number, which is really the only major change that I can report on in this case. This arrived in at 1:28 p.m., had to be scheduled at 1:35 p.m. arrival. And then moving up, we have the other American mainline aircraft, 319, with the Sharklets today. This will ride in from Chicago O'Hare as Flight 856, and nice to see the Chicago main line for American. This will ride in at 8:19 p.m., delayed from an 8:13 p.m. scheduled arrival. This is delayed by just 6 minutes. And then the last aircraft in this update, we do have the American Eagle CRJ 900 from Philadelphia. This will be another one of the new services, or this is actually a returning service, I should say, returning for the first time since 2020. This will ride in as Flight 5478, and this will ride in a bit delay, just over an hour and a half at 11:12 p.m. So another delay here for this particular flight. And before we get into the construction update, I'll do just a quick route roundup. So just recapping a majority of the routes that Des Moines currently has, and then just any other information that does pop up. So it did not have Delta connection from Minneapolis, but that will be 3 to 4 daily CRJ 900s. And then Frontier from Denver, a Monday, Friday, twice weekly frequency. And then Las Vegas from Allegiant, that will be 5 weekly, so Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then there's also Sunday frequency in there as well. Los Angeles on American, starting up October 6th, and that will be once daily, a SkyWest 175. And just trying to navigate some of the various pop-ups that this website has. I keep getting them. It's kind of annoying. Allegiant from Santa Ana, that is a Sunday, Thursday service. Looks like it will be mostly the A320 in this case. Phoenix Sky Harbor on American with one main line and then one Embraer 175. And then Southwest what the heck? Why does that say a 757? I think that's a glitch because obviously Southwest does not have the pencil in their fleet. So I'm going to dismiss that as a glitch because on Saturdays it does show the 737-800, which would be more accurate. So I'm just going to go ahead and dismiss that as a glitch because that is not supposed to happen. Unless we're in some sort of parallel universe where Southwest is actually getting 757s, but I don't think they're ever going to get another aircraft type. And then moving to DFW, got a couple mainline services with the A320 and then some Embraer 175s through the rest of June. And then Austin on Allegiant, Sunday, Thursday happening there. Our St. Louis service for Southwest, 2 daily and then one flight on Saturdays. Delta to Detroit, that's a 3 daily CRJ 900. And then Chicago, there is the A319, just a single mainline service there. And that will continue through July as well with a good mixture of 175s and CRJ 700s. And then the Boston service, which is brand new, as I mentioned, that will be Monday, Friday on the A320. It will continue through July and into at least January is when it says that service ends. We have New York LaGuardia on the route map, so that is 175, 6 weekly. It does not operate on Saturdays. And then the Philadelphia, that is a 2 daily CRJ 900 service. Washington Reagan with a 2 daily 175 frequency. And then Charlotte, 2 daily mainline with an A321 and an A319 mixed in there. And then the Atlanta service, no major changes there. 3 to 4 daily 717s. Nashville is going to be 6 weekly through the rest of June and into July. The only day they don't operate that is on Tuesdays, so that is awesome. And then Gulf Shores, I mentioned, that is a new service. I talked about it last month. Twice weekly, Monday, Friday, starting in October. So very excited to see Gulf Shores getting some passenger service. Allegiant Wednesday, Saturday to Destin. Orlando Sanford, that is 5 weekly. Does not operate on Sundays and Thursdays. Jacksonville, that'll still be twice weekly there, no changes. St. Petersburg, 6 weekly, only excluded for Tuesdays. Punta Gorda, 4 weekly with a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday frequency. Fort Lauderdale is Monday, Friday. And then there's Miami on American, just a Saturday only Embraer 175. That service will end in August. And then there's also Portland on Allegiant, that's a 3 weekly Monday or Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday frequency that we have there. So there's a route roundup for at least a majority of the routes for the Des Moines International Airport. Now I do want to talk about some updates with the construction. Since it's been a little while since I've really talked about any of it, I just haven't been able to find many good photos, at least from the Des Moines Airport Instagram. There is someone that I follow on Insta that just moved there recently. I think they're now a ramp agent over there, so that's pretty cool. There are some photos from the Des Moines Airport Instagram page, so I'll put those up on your screen. And this is a look at the new terminal from above, and it looks awesome already. Obviously, there's a lot more work that has to be done before it can be opened and put into service, but so far it looks great from the outside with the very large spaces that I assume we will have on the inside, and overall just a very spacious facility from above. And then on the inside, there aren't too many photos, like clear photos of the inside where it really shows everything, since it's all just like scaffolding and just the shell of the structure. There's no like furnishings or, wiring or anything installed in there yet, at least to my knowledge, but that will certainly be changing as we move forward here. So, that will do it for this month's Des Moines International Airport update. A great update with another look at one of the Allegiant services that was new last month with Boston, and then a good look at the construction going on for the Des Moines International Airport, which I'm very much excited about, especially when that gets completed. So, long-term plans for this diorama. It will certainly be interesting to change this up, because this has obviously been on the top of a dresser for the better part of 5 years, because, I think this month is actually the 5-year anniversary of Des Moines, so that is certainly fun to observe there. And if I known about it sooner, I would have certainly planned something a little more significant for this update, but since I don't really have anything on my table, this is just really all I've got. But either way, it's very exciting to reach 5 years for another series. I reached 5 years with Sioux Falls in March, and then now we've got Des Moines here with June, and then Random Model Airports also surpassed 5 years. I think I started that in either March or April, I don't remember. But that's also now going on 5 years. And Cedar Rapids and Omaha, they've been going on for 1 year now, which is great. And then Fargo just started this year, so we'll reach that 1 year anniversary in 2026. And just a little bonus feature for you guys, since I'm feeling generous today. I do have, there's a little envelope that came in the mail, so recently, friends sent me a nice little envelope in the mail, and finally came amid some delays, but thankfully it did arrive. And it is some United trading cards. So I finally have my first exposure to these trading cards. I've really wanted them for a while and just haven't really had the opportunity to get any, but I do have some finally. So one of them is this A321neo trading card, and then a 777 trading card. Camera's not really focusing on it, but that's whatever. And then we have a 737 MAX trading card. So I've got 3 of the, at least I believe, these are the new ones, because they did have some older ones a while ago, and they just moved to some new ones here. So very happy about these trading cards. Thank you there for those trading cards. Really appreciate it. And my first exposure to them. So definitely want to get like the Delta ones, and I know Frontier has some as well. So maybe at Airliners International I'll pick some up if they're out there somewhere. Somebody, I'm sure they get sold at conventions. Somebody probably amasses a collection of them somehow and all that. But very, very nice. I love these trading cards. They are they feel high quality, and they've got some good information, just like basic information, like on the back, like the 777 trading card just has some information about like aircraft dimensions, maximum takeoff weight capacity, range, altitude, cruising speed, a lot of just, basic information, but it's very, very cool to have. And I guess if you want, it would be a good way to keep track of like what aircraft you've flown on United, what aircraft you've flown with them, and I'd certainly love to get on United one day. Certainly been on my bucket list, since that's the only legacy carrier I don't have flights with yet, so hopefully there's a good opportunity that I get on a United flight soon, but who knows. It's all about timing, really. So hope you guys enjoyed the Des Moines Airport update. I thought this would be a nice extra to put in, since it just so happened to line up that way. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.